One of the primary ways through which a man feels useful,
Mm.
because if a man doesn't get to feel useful, right, even if he has everything, he feels like shit.
Yeah.
I've had clients, or rather, I've lost clients
Mm.
because when you're born rich and you're young, you have a lot of ego. You can't face your own shit. You can't face your own shortcomings. You can't face your own that I'm a piece of shit. I'm
Mm.
born into money. I've got a bunch of people working for me as domestic help, and I can buy anything I want. I can be with any girl I want. So I don't need help or whatever. So you have a lot of people who are very abundance rich in terms of resources,
Mm.
but from their heart, they are themselves not in touch with it. All right.
Mm.
There's no expansion there. All right. So as a man, for example, I just took this as one of the primary ways that you feel that you are embodying manhood is that if you are useful,
Mm.
considered useful by others. Now how does that happen? That happens if you take responsibility.
Yeah.
So if a man is carrying responsibility, like just take the sexual market value, all right, just take hierarchy in society. The most powerful men are the ones with the most resources, all right,
Mm.
normally. But that
Yeah.
doesn't mean that just because they have the resources that's what has given them power. If they are utilizing those resources, because of which there are people in whose homes electricity and gas is running. Let's say you have a company and you have 5,000 employees, all right, and every day their ghar ka chula, their cooking is happening
Mm.
based on income coming from you're carrying a lot of
Mm.
responsibility. So
Mm.
they respect you, they value you, all right.
Mm.
So you could have somebody who's shit rich or the son of somebody shit rich, but they wouldn't garner respect. They might garner fear, but they will not garner respect unless
Mm.
you are carrying responsibility of either society or a family. You know,
Yeah.
you're useful in some way. All
Yeah.
right. So now, if a man can be in a partnership,
Mm.
or as you said, what should women seek? What should men seek in a woman? First of all, you don't need to seek something in the opposite.
Mm.
You learn how to fulfill it yourself first. All right.
Mm.
Luckily, as men, we don't really have to be that dependent. Men also, like, even if you will study, the shastras and everything, normally it is men who take, like, there's more men who take sannyas. There's more men who are on the path to moksha. There's more men
Yeah.
who want to be completely detached and independent. All right.
Mm.
Because prakriti, like the feminine,
Mm.
basically holds everything together in a disorganized yet beautiful chaos.
Mm.
All right. And it loves to suck in the the purush, the masculine, to
Mm.
experience it. All
Mm.
right. And that is why the ultimate desire of the ultimate free man is to detach from this suction force and just take
Mm.
moksha, liberation, samadhi, etc. So men technically do not really need to seek something from a woman.
Mm.
That doesn't mean that we do not need women, and
Mm.
that doesn't mean that we are demeaning women in any way.
Mm.
All right, it's just that women technically are more dependent than men are, and this doesn't mean to say, again, now I'm having to politically correct myself because I don't know who's going to listen to this. All
Mm.
right. um, that women can do everything on their own. Great. Yes. Nobody's saying that they can't earn their own bread and this thing. The way they want the world to be, men and women are just going to be the same after a few years. All
Mm.
right. Which we are not. We are equal, 100%. We deserve equal opportunity. We deserve equal dignity, everything. But just because you're a woman or just because you're a man,
Mm.
you can't have extra privilege, extra legal rights, extra this. Just like you have literally complained against something and then put yourself in the position of the tyrant.
Mm.
All right. And you have demoted and demeaned everything else.
Mm.
And this to goes so deep that will need you to start a brand new podcast. All right. But
See, on my podcast, you can be as politically incorrect as possible. There is no need for subtleness. In fact, I will go in another direction right now. Okay, I'll ask you a
hmm.
controversial question. Is
No, no,
modern?
let me hold
Okay,
that, hold that. Write it down. Let me finish this thing which you asked.
okay,
What should
okay.
man look for in a woman? So, as I said, technically, man, in my opinion, as of now, my understanding that he doesn't really need anything from the woman.
Mm.
All right, unless he wants to bear children, unless he wants to have a family and this thing. But what all of us need,
Mm.
including the man or the woman who's on the path to moksha, liberation, etc. What all of us need is love.
Mm.
100%. All right.
Yeah.
You could be as independent abla nari as possible, or you could be as alpha a male as possible. But
Mm.
if you have love fulfilled in your life, when you'll go to sleep at night,
Mm.
you'll have warm, childlike sleep.
Mm.
Otherwise, you're fighting against everything in the world. You do not feel safe. You're in survival mode. All right. So, to go beyond the evolutionary drive of survival and reproduction, love can take you ahead because it
Okay.
starts transcending you beyond the basal levels of consciousness. That's why, even the, as I said, even the person who's on the path towards ultimate liberation
Mm.
does that because of being pulled by the love of the Almighty.
Mm.
All right. So even they are feeding on the love. They get so blissed out by it that that is all they want now. They want nothing to do with Maya. They want nothing to do with duality anymore. They want to be singularly that.
Mm.
Okay. So coming back to the question, what do men need from a woman?
Mm.
As I said, love. We can fulfill each other's needs. All right. Because that particular path which we just spoke about is not for everyone to take. We all want to enjoy the human experience. All
Mm.
right. So, finding that genuine love in somebody opposite to you, all right, who embraces you for who you are, gives you the chance to make mistakes because you're continuously on an effort towards continuous improvement. That's the kind of
Mm.
woman that you'll have a great partnership with, because when you also will be getting that feeling of being useful for a woman and the child and everything,
Mm.
that is how a woman can fulfill you in a lot of ways in life.
Mm.
And trust me, even women get fulfilled by
Mm.
allowing that to happen,
Yeah.
in their life.
Yeah.
And they fulfill men in other ways. I
Mm.
mean, you can't, father a child without a woman. All right.
Mm. Yeah.
So, the most beautiful place to nurture a brand new being is a woman because she is a vessel. She contains everything in existence. All
Mm.
right. Because man is that independent little sperm, so
Mm.
he's microscopic,
Mm.
yet he's incredibly powerful.
Mm.
And the womb is macroscopic and
Mm.
all encompassing. It allows anything and everything to nurture within it. It feeds it by itself.
Mm.
But to kickstart that process, you need conception, which happens when the masculine interacts with the feminine.
Mm.
Then you, like, all of us, to become, we are gods in a way. All
Mm.
right. So there's a creator, and then he made these mini little creators, all of us, you sitting
Mm.
there, me sitting here, who are playing this fucking video game, and we are all
Mm.
creators.
Mm.
But how do you create without two forces coming in, contact with each other and morphing into something else? All right. Or mutating into something else.
Mm.
Yes, alone also you're, a major spark and you can do a lot of shit. But the only way you can do shit in this transactional universe, this duality oriented universe, is when you interact with things.
Mm.
You know, there's a give and take of energy, there's a give and take of a lot of things.
Okay.
That's when you're participating in the game, you're creating.
Mm.
And when you do it with a woman, that is the ultimate creation.
Mm.
Then the two
Yeah.
polar opposites of the spectrum are coming together.
Mm.
So this, only a man can fulfill for a woman, and only a woman can fulfill for a man. No matter what else you can say, try to prove, try to create 97 genders on Facebook, do whatever you want.
Mm.
All right. You can try to delude people to another level, but the internal compass is so strong that
Mm.
even if you end up deluding yourself, there will be a time where you'll have to face it, that something's not right, I need to change, you know or whatever.